Yeah, I gotta show you guys what this looks like right now. Like, this is pretty bland as a background, but the amount of effort for this to look bland was impressive. Mostly just curious to see how this all looks. I'm not gonna use this light. Maybe if we switch over to, maybe this is gonna be the studio space? Maybe? Oh yeah, that's comfortable. Yeah, it doesn't look half bad for like being in a shack. This is pretty good. Never had headphones on to check the audio levels. Bit of an echo. It's not like the best sound quality ever. I'm just gonna pull up some video on my phone and show you exactly what I'm seeing. So this is, here, let me go wide. This is the setup. We got our softbox, Andy Scene A6 Plus 5D Mark IV Tamron. We got our boom mic. I've never actually boomed a mic before, so this is kind of like, it's pretty cool. It's right there, so the audio should sound pretty good. I've never actually been able to see like the audio levels like peaking before, so I have to talk a little bit quieter so that it doesn't do that. I'm a very excitable person. Anyways, the purpose of this video is the do's and don'ts of self-portrait photography. So let's go ahead and start off with that. I'm gonna take these headphones off so I don't look like an imbecile the whole time. First, don't accept the first photo that just comes out good. The trick to great self-portraits and portraits in general is that the more photos you take, the less of a chance you're gonna catch people like blinking, or there's gonna be like, you know, something in the background. If you're driving around cars or anything like that and you have vehicles driving by, you know, you're not gonna catch a little car that's in the background that you don't have to deal with in Photoshop. So take a lot of photos. Don't just accept the first one. Go and take a bunch at the same location. Once you have your camera set up, you're gonna wanna take advantage of that setup in as many poses as you can, different lighting situations that you can get, because it's such a pain to get everything set up into a new location and a new composition. So I figured as we were recording this, it might be beneficial to show you how many takes it took to get this one shot right here. I just decided to throw on a sweater. I'm just gonna do a top up portrait, but I'm gonna do a bunch of different posings and try out and see how many I can get. And I'll just blast those through real quick. That's the one. The second thing I gotta say is, like, don't get stuck on getting poses right, because poses are gonna be fluid. You wanna have multiple poses. You know, you can get stuck in like making minor adjustments on like hands and like, you can go way too far into posing, and you want to be more dynamic. You know, take your time. If you have an idea that has motion involved in it, you know, do that a bunch of times, but don't focus on like one direction and thinking that, you know, this is the only lighting situation that's going to look good, or this is the only one that's going to look good, or, you know, make sure that you're taking advantage of the time that you've already put into setting up your camera to taking as many shots as possible. And remember, you're supposed to have a good time. And that's going to be up to rule number 3 for my don'ts. Don't forget to have a good time. Taking self-portraits and portraits in general can be kind of overwhelming and like a little intimidating, especially if you're like new to photography, you haven't really put a lot of time in front of the camera, you've mostly been behind the camera. So don't let your like anxiety and stuff, you know, overwhelm you too much. Just realize that like 99% of people that are gonna watch you do this stuff, they're gonna forget you like 10 minutes from now. So the pressure that you're putting on yourself from the world around you isn't necessarily yours to absorb. Let them deal with that. You can stay focused on what you're doing right here, right now, and that way you're gonna get a better shot, because after a little while, yeah, like I still get a little nervous when I'm out in public and I do it, especially if I'm in like a heavy trafficked area where people are like, what's he doing? What is he? Is he taking a picture of me? Oh, I hope he's not. Like, that sort of stuff, just put that off to the side. Wait until somebody approaches you. If somebody's got an issue, they'll talk to you about it. If not, most people are just curious. It's not judging. It's not, you know, any condescension, I don't know. Another thing that can be really helpful, taking advantage of getting color balance right. You don't have to do that in camera if you're shooting raw, but it can be really helpful. I will take a picture of this. I don't know what kind of gray this is, but this is how you set your white balance as best as possible to your camera settings. There's a number associated with it. It's like gray 1, 2, something. But 5-in-1 reflectors are really beneficial because you can bounce light with it. You can take creative approaches to your lighting. So if you've got like a lot of light coming from one direction, you can kind of, see if I can get it to, can't bounce it. Yeah, there we go. So it's all really white there. But take it away, you don't have as much light over here. But if you bring it back, you can kind of fill in gaps, or you can make it even darker by putting something darker. You really can't see it in here. Anyways, 5-in-1 reflectors. These are useful because you can get your white balance and you can get some interesting looks. On the other side of this, it's gold, but taking it apart is too much of a pain for me right now, so I'm not gonna do that. It folds up into this nice little carrying case. You can like hang it on stuff. If you got a C-stand or anything, you can put that up there. It's kind of hard to not have a second hand to help you out, to actually like set the directional light depending on where you're at. That's what I've had the hardest time with, is using this with self-portraits. I wish it was square and not circular, because at least with square you can like set it on something and lean it, but like tends to like twist and fall down. 5-in-1 photo reflector, dream world, it's square. That also goes on to, I don't know what point, I'm losing track of the do's and the don'ts, but your lighting is gonna be your best friend. Play with directional lighting. If you're just getting into it, I suggest staying inside of like more shadow areas, you know, tree coverage. That way you can kind of learn your camera settings a little bit better, instead of having to worry about the light and the camera settings and getting those to merge together to create a good photo. If it's like sunset, don't have the sun go directly, like if the sunset's happening right there, don't have your person look right at it. Tilt them just a little bit so you've got some coverage and some shadow and some depth. Or have the sun behind them and underexpose the photo. Because if you underexpose it, you can bring up those shadows and you're saving the really bright background a little bit. Either way, just be mindful of your lighting and play around with it. That's really like what's gonna make you a better photographer, is understanding where your light's coming and how it's affecting the shadows. And that's how you think about landscape photography too. You know, you don't want really flat landscapes. You want really dynamic, moody, you know, directional light, you know, all this light's blasting in from over here, and there's clouds coming in over here, and you know, there's shadows from the trees. So you see one side's all green, the other side's dark, and you know, I think about this too much. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys took any photos. Tag me, Dusty Edits, and I will check them out, and I'll put those up, top 5, in the next YouTube video, and I'll give you guys little critiques on it too. So I'll see you guys next time. Peter McKinnon thing. Nope. 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 There we go. Nope. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Peace. I don't know, it's a start. So, welcome to the channel. Okay, no lie, this is kind of working. I don't like that I have to stand the whole time, but this is pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty stoked on this.